Okay, hey everybody, welcome to the show. Hi, let me just get this going here. Welcome to David's Kitchen. We're going to be doing a little camera work here. Yeah. Original. There you go. Today on the platter, we've got some meat. I picked up 30% off, $6.55 for 0.82 pounds. And that's a USDA choice beef round tip. I can work with this. I'm gonna kind of make it slice really tight. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the chat room. Let's get in there right now. Yeah, thank you. Right, this is my little kitchen here. I've got another deal on Prego. I picked up that for $1.76. So I think we're at $4 for that meat. $1.76, $5.76, and we're going to use about $1 worth of noodles, $6.76. I think we're going to have to take this up to $7. So, yeah, whenever you deal with meat, you're dealing with a little price gouging going on. You know the drill. Yeah, pretty soon it'll be $76 for 4 people. Yeah, that'll be the normal price. I'm not kidding. Okay, let me get the camera adjusted. I'm a little too bright. But yeah, we're going with a red pepper and a green pepper, a red onion rather. Let's get in there. Yeah, so I do the show on the fly, in case you're wondering. If you do a lot of prep work on videos, it's just too difficult. Yeah, you burn out really quick. Secret plans discovered. Potentially armed climate enforcement entity. Wow. Yeah, I heard they're moving in the direction of the New World Order in Canada. I would think that we wouldn't do that. Assuming you're all Americans, I assume you are. Oh, of course, we got a viewership around the world. What can I say? That's a Stroganoff, yeah, A-N. Right. We'll get the spelling right. Thank you. That does matter. Especially to the Russian people who made a life of this, you know. This was part of their life. I mean, eating stroganoff is a big part of a Russian. Growing up, your mothers would make stroganoff. If you're from Russian descent, living in Kensington Place, you're probably a big Stroganoff person, although you may be hooked on, you know, drugs. There's a lot of drug activity going on in the streets of Philadelphia. Yeah, Polish immigrants, Russian immigrants, all working in the textile industry for many years. No longer, their kids are just on the street, you know, it's just really a messed up situation. Yeah. And that's not an easy place to grow up. No. I hear you. All right, we'll lower the quality of the... Yeah, nothing seems to be making a difference there. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. So, traditional beef stroganoff recipes. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Ah, mushrooms, of course. Thank you. That's the extra money. You got to put mushrooms in it. That's very important. So we may be definitely close to $7, especially if you have a very cheap piece of meat. Okay, well, I will respond to chat. Thank you. Please be more disrespectful of everyone. I mean, respectful, sorry. I heard armed climate change officers. I'm kind of like standing back going, wow, what's it all about, Alfie? I really am. I feel like I would be happy looking out on a beautiful a seascape, you know, hanging out by my bug out tent, my camo tent. That's how I would, you know, I would like to live there. That's why I have my camo tent in the show every night. All right, let's do this. Pull the peeling off of this. It's kind of a medium-sized red onion. I picked this up at Organic at Kruger, and they were pretty good deal, $2.29 for a couple pounds. That was good. And the green pepper is just the deal I got there at the regular produce section, 88 cents. So, I'm going to say about $1.25 for that. The mushrooms, $2.79 for this. So I'm going to pull out about 6 mushrooms, probably 1/3. So say 40 cents, 50 cents maybe. And yeah, 7 mushrooms. Yeah, it's a very mushroom intensive meal. Today, yeah, I'm going to be doing some fun stuff. This stuff is great if you get a good deal on it. Always look for good deals, but you can't lose with Prego. I mean, they've got a good quality taste. And they use, basic ingredients that you would get normally. Nothing special. Okay, I'm going to put the grill on level 3 to get started. And I'm going to start with the meat. Or no, actually I'm not. I'm going to start with the onion. Whoops. Wrong burner. The back burner is better. Now I do have sharp knives today, so I did sharpen them, so everything's good. I'm going to go with a basic 3 slice. So 1, 2, basically 3 or 4 segments. Let's say 4. 4 is good. And they're going to slice right down the middle, keeping my fingers down, fairly thin, making kind of strips, edible strips of onion. This is going to mix with egg noodles, which I purchased, the only organic egg noodles in the market, is Simple Truth Organic. Also available at Kroger. I'm going to dice this down here just to get that going in a little dice action. Okay. And then dice your way toward the core. Leaving the core to go in the compost. Now these mushrooms, I like to rinse them off. You never know, because they grow them in chicken manure. So not exactly the ideal place to, Oh yeah, I'll take some chicken manure. Thank you, thank you. Why are you cutting on ceramic? Because I felt that it would be less bacteria. And I normally don't care. Plus, I'm getting ready to put the meat on there. And I plan on leaving some of the onions and the meat when I'm cutting it, just for flavor. That's why I chopped up and diced a few. Yeah, I like to cut them in with the meat. The mushrooms I'll deal with later. I'm using a platter just to cook there. Now today I'm going to demonstrate how you can cook with any type of emollients in your house, assuming you're not cooking with hand lotion. This is some avocado jalapeno lime mayonnaise that I picked up. Normally it's $9.99 a jar. I got it for 97 cents. So yeah, I'm going to try a little spoon of that on the pan once it's warm. Yeah, I'm going for kind of a unique, kind of a horseradish taste in this meal. And this is going to be kind of essential in the cooking process. So I'm just going to, you can use butter, same kind of thing, a tablespoon of butter works too. But you know me, I like to experiment, so. Hey! You normally don't see my whole body, so at least I get a little chance to walk around and show off my physique. Yeah, so just get that going, and let's get the onions in the pan. So I'm gonna push that around on the grill a little bit, rotate it. Now I'm just gonna throw some onions on. to take the meat, slice open the package. Now this is in the freezer. We bought this meat 4 months ago. This would not be available. And it's best probably to rinse it off if it's that old. Normally I wouldn't ask to rinse meat off, but you know, just to be on the safe side. Okay. Now that would normally be about $18 now. Oh, I didn't tell you that the key here is to actually cook with hot dogs. Oh, sorry. Well, you can get all beef hot dogs. You know, they make a really good brand. I'll show you. This is also available at Kroger. Ballpark beef, no nitrate hot dogs. 100% beef. And you could do a beef stroganoff with this for sure. Oh yeah. And that's at $4 a package, so it's a lot more doable. Now, beef has gone through the roof. I couldn't believe it. Okay, so we're going to go to the knives from Syria. And I'm just going to slice down on here, but before I do, I saved some red pepper from some salsa. I have a little red pepper I'm going to put on top of it, just to smear around it. Yeah, just a little bit of red pepper. Yeah, so when the knife goes in, it goes in on the red pepper sauce. You can do that with barbecue sauce too. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take that. Let me get the camera ready here. Yeah, it's supposed to be red, and sometimes you get meat with beta carotene in it. Beta carotene is not, yeah. Okay, well, I'm going for really thin slices here. Now, top brown is kind of a tough meat. So the more you cut it, the more it tenderizes. That's why I'm actually keeping the onions in the pan with it. You know, I'm just not happy with this particular knife. So I'm going to get a bigger blade from the same collection. And yeah, you don't want to cut on a breadboard, because if you do, you could, you know, contaminate the breadboard. Okay, we're going to go for a size up from there. Meanwhile, our onions are just simmering at level 3. There we go. We're going to get the long strokes going here. I'm going to put the plate long ways. There we go. Yeah, something edible, an edible strip is kind of like half that. So this is about an edible strip. Very difficult to cut meat. So in a way, hot dogs would be kind of an easy fix, wouldn't it? Yeah, once that blade gets going, and what you could do is kind of go rotate it and do corners like this. And just keep rotating. So you're kind of taking a circle and you're just grabbing little corners off it. Now I'm keeping the onions with it, you know, just part of the, kind of get it going toward a quick marinade, because what I'm going to do with this is put some marinade in it with it, and I'm going to pound it in a bag. Now it's important to get that pan hot, so I'm keeping it at level 3 and just letting it get going. And I want those onions to caramelize a little bit, because when the meat hits the pan, it's going to kind of make it's going to sear essentially. And we're going to put some things on here like Italian seasoning, paprika. Always keep your eye on a knife whenever you're cutting, and always keep your fingers down. I cut myself when I was 10 years old, and it was a pretty bad cut. You know, it was about a quarter-inch in. And I can tell you, it's not something that you want to relive, so. Yeah, you have one bad experience, and then you keep your eye on that blade all the time. You never take your eyes off the blade. I imagine it would be difficult to become you could use fingers, and you could still not cut yourself if you were blind. But what a deficit that is. I'd rather cook with hot dogs if I were blind, you know. Jeez. I wouldn't bother with doing this, that's for sure. You know, you have to make your life rich with radio. And I understand there are a lot of blind people online. I actually found that out. There's a whole support system for blind people online. It's pretty amazing. There's voice-to-text systems that are out there for people that convert immediately to Braille. Some amazing technology. Now here's a little piece of sinew. You see that? That is of no value in the meal because they'll get in somebody's mouth. It's usually the center of the meat where the fat, where the meat actually gets a direct connection to the blood vessels. Yeah, it is kind of an amazing thing. Meat is one of those things I support, you know, so that I'm kind of doing the meat thing because I support the livestock industry big time. And I feel that we're getting the raw end of the deal here. We're not front-loaded. Our farmers aren't getting the respect they deserve. They really aren't. When our government, you know, makes decisions about that, we should be very, very long-term thinking. Building an industry takes time, not shutting it down. You know, that can be done in a second. But building an industry like we have is rare, and we want to preserve it. So like, yeah, that's a little piece of sinew right there. Okay, let me rinse my hands off. Okay, we got a nice sizzle going on here with the pan. I'm just going to go ahead and spread the onions around and just keep the oil at the base. You're not serious? Okay, good. Now, what would you put in I would definitely do paprika. So, right. There it is. It's hiding. I do not think curry would be appropriate in this meal. No. Okay, so not a lot of paprika. You know, dust it lightly. Just a light amount of dust. Okay, and then we're going to add pepper. Pepper is important. I got these McCormick shakers. They're $2 at Walmart. And they're fresh pepper shakers. They have the spin top on them. Pretty good. Yeah, you can do a little bit more pepper. Oh my. Yeah, pepper's a good ingredient in this meal. I'm going to do a little Italian seasoning because, frankly, I think it just needs it. You know? Whoa. All right. Now I have a marinade in the refrigerator that I use. And it's just some old thing I picked up for 25 cents that I use, you know, until it's gone. It's pretty salty. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put the beef inside of this plastic bag. It's a thick plastic. I'm not too worried about the microplastic of this plastic grade. I'm going to put it all in here like this with the onions, whatever onions are left. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of pulling it off the bottom here. This is a bag that I picked up from some string cheese that I had, and I save all my bags. I reuse them. Like this will have a second use, then it'll go in the garbage. All right, so I'm getting everything off the bottom there. And I'm gonna add, rinsing my hands off. Yeah, you don't want to handle meat and not clean your hands off, so. Yeah, and then we'll take this right here, put this over here. And I'm just going to let the air out of it and press it in there. And then I have this mallet that I'm going to, that's not cool, man. Yeah, that's not cool. If I have to go to a confirmed chatters, I will. And what I want to do here is beat the meat. Whoops. Oh, it popped its opening. Hang on. Just a couple onions fell out. Get back in there. Now, this cow never had so much respect. I mean, you're honoring the meat by beating the meat and giving it a little bit of, you know, good old-fashioned loving, you know. Let's put some of the this stuff in there now. Just about a tablespoon. It's really strong. You don't want to use too much of that marinade. It'll like overtake the meal. Go light on the marinades because remember the marinades are full of salt. Now this isn't like a thin plastic like this. Don't use that kind of plastic. No. That's no good. Use a thicker plastic. I choose a thick plastic to beat meat. Flip and beat more. Okay, we're ready to do it. Okay. More meating? Should I do more? I think I should do more, you're right. Well, it keeps telling me I want out of here. I'm going to go in the fry pan now. Okay, now your onions are nice and caramelized. And once you've had your meat that's beaten, throw that beaten meat in the caramelized onions. Can you hear a sizzle? Ah, sizzle. Now, if you're worried about microplastic, don't put anything, you know, rinse that out and put it in the garbage. As well as the meat container, which may have some smells and odors. Some people even wash these out when they put them away. I do. I'm some people. But see, there's still like meat byproducts somewhere in there, like blood or... Want to take care of that? Thank you. So we're disposing of the microfiber, of the actual styrofoam. I hate that stuff. Okay, let's look at the pan and take our mind off of this pollution that we're getting here. Oops. Okay, take your clean rag and wipe your hands off. Now you want to distribute the meat on the pan nice and evenly. And take that temperature up to level 6. Crank it. Yeah. Now another option is, instead of like a tablespoon of jalapeno avocado oil, which is really weird, you can just use any oil, I guess, but I wouldn't use canola or corn. You can use butter. Or I was thinking of doing this, and I didn't, but bacon. I bought some bacon, and I can cook the bacon in there and get that going as an oil. I thought that would be really good, but I didn't really want to take away from the flavoring here. I have an ingredient that I bought in New York, which is kind of a cumin mix, fiesta mix. I'm going to throw that on top. No more than a half a teaspoon. Okay, everything's going to set. I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to leave it slightly ajar. So I want it to actually kind of scorch down on that meat. Meanwhile, I'm going to prep my vegetables, and I've got some water boiling over here. I'm going to get the water level up to 6 here and get a boil going. And once the boil's up and running, I can put a half of this egg noodle package in there. Yeah, half a package of egg noodles. These are $1.79 or about $1.99 for the whole package. So it's $1 worth of this. $1.76 there is $2.76. The vegetables, I could say 2 would be $4.76, and the meat was 4. Wow. You know, I think we really need to go in the direction of saying 8 now. I know this is a big move for me because of the mushrooms. I was trying to keep the price down, but you know how that goes. So if you made it with beef hot dogs, you could do it for 6 probably. You know, I hear you, man. They are expensive, yeah. Normally they're a little less expensive, Mr. V-Real. But when you're getting organic egg noodles, it's the only one on the market. I've checked it around. I mean, there's no other one on the market that's organic. That's it. You're just keeping things out of your diet. I mean, I'm not using an organic green pepper. I mean, I don't know what this thing was sprayed with, you know. Hey, life is a crapshoot. Life is a crapshoot. Or would you prefer life is crappy? Okay, the mushrooms and the green pepper will go well together, so we're going to go ahead and slice this up and put it with the meat. I did rinse it off ahead of time, so take the meatball out, the seed ball out, and kind of pick out any seeds that might be in it. All right. And I just slice down the middle here like this. When you get here, you can just kind of wedge them out. Cut and do everything in 1/3. So, or you could do crisscross. Crisscross is good too. Right there like that, and then turn it like this, and voila! You've got nice edible pieces, kind of like the onions. We'll throw that in with the meat. See, it's already cooking. Very nice. You got a nice little boil going on here. That's why I didn't really want to boil it. I'm just kind of sauteing it. Everyone accuses me of boiling my food, but I do have a boil in the back here. I'm going to go ahead and attend to that. I'm going to make sure there's salt in the water. That'll work. We'll pull this open. And I'm going to kind of hold out my fingers right around the halfway point so I know where we're at. And when that gets in there immediately, you want to move it around immediately with a spatula. I'm going to go a little bit more. That should be good. You essentially have another meal. And a rubber band. It's back in the pantry. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, let's throw the green pepper on top. Now is when we're going to start doing a steam fry. Now I have a couple big chunks here I saw. I didn't really cut it well enough, so we'll go ahead and cut down on those. Kind of shave them. Make sure everything gets in there, right in the center. Cover up. Now you can use garlic too. You want to do some garlic. I'm going to go ahead and prep these mushrooms by cutting them in half and laying them down face first. And then bisecting those sections. I would make a few bisections, like 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. That way you're distributing quite a bit of onion or mushrooms to everybody who's eating. Okay, let me do a compost drop layer. Now, one of the things I was going to put in here was zucchini. You can try peas, but I know I would be adding to the total cost of the meal, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, I wanted to give this this particular beef stroganoff a flavor that gives it some lift. And since zucchini is a neutral food, taste-wise, just take the top off, the bottom off. Just take a little bit of the bottom off, you know. Unless you really want to eat that, you can't eat it. And I'm going to cut it this way. Yeah, I'm going to cut, instead of big pieces, I'm just going to kind of go with smaller pieces. And I'm going to kind of diagonally cut it. No more than 1/4 inch. It doesn't matter which diagonal. You don't have to do that. Okay, we're going to throw all that right in on top of everything else. Just push the whole plate in there. Keeping the lid on, we're kind of steam frying now. And we're going to go ahead and stir that noodle. So after you've beaten that meat, you have to stir that noodle. Very important. I'm sure a lot of Russian people are probably going, Dave, what are you kidding? Is this a joke? No, it's actually roasted garlic Parmesan Alfredo sauce. So I can't lose with this. It's not a white sauce Mama would make.
That's right. My mother would never have made such a thing. It would have been sacrilegious in Russia or Ukraine.
Oh, I said 2 key words. Uh-oh. Wow, look at that. Okay, so you're just going to kind of pre-cook the vegetables, make sure they're glazed, tender, al dente. No, I didn't say beat your meat. I said beat the meat. Big difference. Yeah, that's a correction. Okay, we're getting the noodles don't take too long. I think they take about 8 minutes. Now, for this meal, I pulled out my 1955 Corel winner, which, if you remember this stuff, it dates back to the 50s. My mother bought this, and she always had our beef stroganoff in it. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been sitting there, so I'm going to rinse it out a little bit. Make sure it's clean. But yeah, it's a tried and true test. If you see these at thrift stores, they're very good. They can be thrown in a casserole oven at a 400-degree oven and not have any problems. They can bake the entire thing. And technically, a casserole dish like this should be baked. I'm doing it a kind of a slow way, just setting it and putting it on a burner. You can slow burn these things on a melt setting. And just like, but you don't want it to stick at the bottom, so you do want to put oil at the bottom. So I'm putting a little safflower oil down here. Just a touch. Nothing, so nothing sets up and burns. Because unlike stickless stuff, that stuff is, I don't know, can I trust it? No. Okay, the noodles are coming along really well. I'm going to do a little garlic. And I'm going to give that a big stir in the back. Here we go. Okay. Now everything's cooking together. You want to keep that at a high flame for about 15 minutes, like a level 6. Safflower oil is not poison. In fact, it's considered one of the cleanest oils in the it is actually made from flower. And flowers need bees in order to pollinate. So, and bees won't live around pesticides. So ironically, it's one of the cleanest oils you can buy. I like sunflower oil. I like extra virgin olive oil I prefer. No, I'm correct on this one. You can research it. And safflower oil has a burning temperature of 400 degrees. It doesn't degrade. It's the most durable oil for high heat. I wouldn't deep fry in it. No, I would go for more of a olive oil or a peanut oil. I personally avoid canola oil. So, but that's just a preference. I don't like anything made with rapeseed oil, corn oil. There's a lot of issues there. My coffee cup was kind of not giving me enough pull. Perfect. Man, that's good. No, I know everything about oil. You can't talk to me about anything regarding oil. There was a big scandal about olive oil in Italy. They were bundling canola oil and calling it olive oil. I don't know what they were using for a green tint, but okay, I'm going to turn that burner in the back off and let it sit in its own noodle juice right now. Noodle juice. That sounds pretty nasty. Yeah, well, we're not quite done here, but this is going to cook together, so I want to kind of close down on the cooking with the Alfredo sauce in it. So while this is still cooking, I'm going to throw the Alfredo sauce on top. Don't mix it up yet, but just kind of seal the deal with the Alfredo sauce and then recover it. There's not a lot of water in there. It's just mostly vegetables. So you're getting the best of that cooking and caramelization going on. I'm going to go ahead and put a little water in the container so I don't waste this. The best is in the last part, really. Put a little filtered water in there and give it a shake. Corningware Company advises against use of the stoneware on the stovetop. I agree. I would not cook on the stovetop with this unless it was at a melt setting. But even then, I wouldn't do it. It's much better to burn a 450-degree oven for an hour and waste $7 in electricity. I totally agree. So I would agree with the Corningware opinion. They don't have to pay for an oven to heat up for one container. Now, if you're cooking with sun, that's a different story. Yeah, if we could set the whole thing in the sun for an entire day in the Mojave, it'd be great. Okay, we're going to pull that off of the noodles and drain the noodles. Going over to the draining area. We're going to put some water down the drain with it. I always run water, and then I'm going to pull it out. Pull it all the way out. Cold water goes down at the same time, so it doesn't shock your electric. Yeah, there you go. Although some people would probably want hot water going down there, but I don't. Okay, then I'm going to take, this is one of the things I do for this meal. I have some Kraft Parmesan I picked up for $1 on sale. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the container with a little bit of a dusting of Parmesan as it goes in. Okay. Distributing the Parmesan evenly, and then putting the top on. Well, you know, glass on glass, you're absolutely right. I would not, because ceramic is ostensibly glass. And if there's a contact issue, if there's something on the burner, it could burn and crack, and both Yeah, it could be a real problem. I totally agree. Metal on a flat surface like that is very good. But I'm not running the burner right now, so I'm going to sit over here if that's okay with you. Thanks. Okay, now is the time for an extra dose of the water on top of everything. I have not mixed anything in there yet. I'm almost done with this jar, except I'm pretty close to the end here. I just want to make sure I get it all. That $1.76 has to spread, you know. You know, I might as well put that with the noodles. You know, just pour it right in there to keep it moist. There you go. Why not? All right, now you can clean the glass out completely and get it ready for the recycling. He magically takes it to the glass recycling area, which is the most efficient recycling center we have. Glass is perhaps the best thing we could possibly be using because it doesn't impart any type of toxic metal in our food, and it's incredibly recyclable. We should have been going in this direction for the entire process, but whatever. My End the Plastics campaign is still going forward. Hi, welcome to my show. We ready? Let's do it. Okay, we're going to give it a spin at the bottom now. Oh, it's burning at the bottom. That's the whole idea. All right, now turn the entire thing off once you cover the bottom. You caramelized everything. Now you turn it to a simmer all the way down. Cover it up. Yeah. We're almost done. Yeah, it's just simmering now. So you can have it simmer on top of the noodles. So I'm going to make the big splurge and move it over. Ready? Going right in there. When it goes in, kind of poke it. There you go. See how it got a little burnt on the bottom there? Just slightly. You're cooking with stainless steel, so you shouldn't have a problem. Now, if you're cooking with Teflon, don't do that. In fact, I don't cook with Teflon for that reason. And just kind of poke it in there like this. There you go. Moving it around, kind of distributing it. The meat's ironically on the top. Dust it with Parmesan. Cover it up. And then you can put it on the burner and let it set. Meanwhile, I'm going to put some water in my stainless steel pan, which I get so much use out of this thing. It's unreal. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And then I'm going to do a little pre-clean here with this little brush. I find this is the most efficient. These little hand brushes. And they don't carry a lot of bacteria, too. They're very good at breaking stuff down, but now that's such good stuff right there that you almost think, well, why don't you use that in the compost heap? So yeah, I'm going to compost that water right there. That's actually full of nutrition. It goes back in the garden. That's cool. Always bringing the loop of food back in your diet. The loop of nutrition, we'll call it. Vitamins beget vitamins. Okay. So that can sit on the stove and be ready for you. I didn't do the garlic, but you can do that with garlic powder. Things kind of progress too fast. But it would be very good with garlic. So, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. This is dinner for at least 4, if not more. I think you could feed 6 people with this. I'm going to go up it to 6 people.
And I'll see you guys in the other room. Thanks for coming into my show. David's Kitchen.